Okay, good morning, students. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, so last class we were talking about T&D, that is training and development. So, like we saw the trends, what will be the future of training and development. We saw the future trends, and nowadays we are seeing lot of companies, they are hiring disabled people, they are hiring aged people, and they are hiring people who are from the minority group also. So you are seeing many companies like IBM, Wipro, then so many companies. Dell company is known for hiring aged people, all 50 plus aged people. Dell company is hiring. So like that, many companies are hiring people with disabilities. That is known as short form is PWD. PWD means people with disabilities. So many of the companies are hiring today. We are seeing that very good trend among companies. They are hiring the PWD people, and they are changing their infrastructure to accommodate a wheelchair, and providing them ramps and special washrooms for them to use. So all these things, they are making change in their infrastructure to help such kind of employees, people with disabilities. So that is a very positive trend that we are seeing in companies today. And with that, we finished with module 2. So today we are starting with module 3. So module 3 is about performance management and performance appraisal. So performance management is managing the performance of employees in the organization. So that is known as PMS, Performance Management System. In short form, it is known as PMS. So we will see the definition, what is the characteristics, what is the role of PMS, what is the objectives of PMS, what is the process of PMS, and why a performance management system is very much required in organizations. So first we will see what employees expect in an organization. So they want very good salary, that is economic reward. They want to be getting a chance to advance in their career, that is career development opportunities or career enrichment opportunities. They want to be treated fairly by the employers. They want to get a fair treatment in the company, and what is expected out of them, it should be made clear to them. They should have clear expectations what the company wants out of them, and also the employees want on a regular basis positive feedback or constructive feedback from the employers, from the HR people, from his supervisors. He wants positive feedback or constructive feedback. Constructive feedback means feedback which is positive, which will motivate him to improve further. Wherever he is lacking, the feedback should be such that it should motivate him to improve further. So this is what employees expect from the company. Now, why should they perform? Why should employees of a company perform? So they should perform because they have to achieve the goals of the organization. They have to achieve the mission of the organization. Mission is what reason the organization is existing, why it is existing, for what it is existing. That is the mission. So to achieve the mission and to achieve the goals, employees should perform. And they need encouragement, they need timely rewards from the company so that their performance will improve day to day and it will be aligned to the organizational mission and goals. Aligned means it will be according to the organizational mission and goals. So they will perform or they will behave according to the mission and goals of the organization. And they should perform in such a way that any non-productive activities they should not do in the organization. They should do only productive activities in the organization. So what is the meaning of performance? Performance is a process or it is an action where the employee wants to achieve some task or some function or some action which is known as performance. So all the employees have to perform in the organization. Nowadays, companies will give the increment, give the bonus or whatever they reward they want to give to the employees, whether it is monetary reward or non-monetary reward, whatever reward they want to give, it will be based on their performance. So only if employees perform, they will get that increment or they will get that promotion or they will get that bonus or they will get a non-monetary reward which can be maybe lunch allowance or mobile allowance or special parking area in the office campus or company car with a driver or a company flat provided. These are all non-monetary rewards. Or company will provide furniture for him or household appliances for him. So many kinds of non-monetary rewards companies will give. So all this is based on performance. So performance management system is where the companies manage the performance of employees and make sure that they are performing well so that they are achieving the goals and they are achieving the mission of the organization. What is the strategic goals of the organization? What is the operational goals of the organization? According to that, they are performing and they are achieving it. So a measurement of performance is done on a regular basis through the PMS system, performance management system. So performance, how can you measure? You have to measure it against some standard. So standard is a benchmark. So maybe the competitor companies standards the organization will take because the company is performing very well. It's doing very well in the market. It is a leader in the market. The employees are also in that company performing very well. So the performance of those employees will be taken as a benchmark. So that is the standard against which this company will measure their employees' performance from time to time and see how they are performing, where they need to improve, where they have improved a lot, and what rewards to give them for improvement, etc., etc. So the performance management system is a very important HR function. It has to be done continuously. It is a continuous process where the HR team will be identifying, measuring, and developing the performance of their individual employees as well as team of employees to make sure that their performance is aligned according to the strategic goals of the organization. That is, they perform according to the goals of the organization. So what are the strategic goals of the organization? According to that, they should perform. So PMS has two major components. One, it is a continuous process. It's not a one-time process. Every year, like maybe quarterly or half yearly or annually, companies do performance measurement of their employees. So, and then they give feedback to the employees. So it is a continuous process. That is one component. Second component, it should be aligned. It should be according to the strategic goals of the organization. So what are the strategic goals of the organization? According to that, they should make sure that the employees are performing. So PM is all the activities which make sure that the goals of the organization are achieved in an efficient manner and in an effective manner. So here in performance management, they are measuring the performance of the whole organization. They are measuring the performance of departments. They are measuring the performance of employees. So, to make sure that they are performing according to the goals of the organization. So the performance management system is including all these activities. That is goal setting. First, the company will set their goals. Then what is the goals of their company? What is the strategic goals of their company? According to their mission, they will set their strategic goals, and they make sure that they communicate all this to the employees. So the strategic goals of the company are communicated to all the employees. So the employees know what the company expects from them, how their performance should be. Their performance should be in such a way that they achieve the goals of the organization. Then the third activity is observation, where the HR team and the supervisors will observe the performance of employees and will measure their performance and see which areas they need development, which areas they need development, they will put them to TND, that is training and development. Which areas they need support, like resources they need, budget they need, they provide that to them. And also which areas they have improved, they will evaluate and give them rewards. So these are the four activities that takes place in a PMS system, that is through performance management, goal setting, communicating to employees, then observing their performance and evaluating their performance, and accordingly giving them constructive feedback or positive feedback about their performance. So what is the purpose of a PMS system? So the purpose of the PMS system is to achieve the goals of the organization. What are the strategic goals of the organization? To inform the employees what rewards they can get if they perform well. It helps in other HR functions. That is through performance management system, they will come to know which employees need TND, which employees need to be transferred, which employees need to be terminated, which how many new employees have to be recruited and selected. So all other HR decisions can be made on the basis of this PMS system. And the employees also will come to know about their own performance through this PMS system, and they will come to know whether they are achieving the expectations of the organization, and whether they are not achieving the expectations of the organization, where they need to develop themselves, which area they need to train themselves in new skills, in new knowledge, in new abilities, that is KSAs, in which areas they need to develop themselves, the employees will come to know. and the organization can also maintain all these employees, existing employees, keep them satisfied, keep them happy in the organization, so that they don't think of leaving the organization very soon. Reward them well, pay them well, treat them fairly within the organization, and make sure that the employees are retained within the organization. And also PMS system helps to achieve the legal obligations as per the legal laws. What are the legal obligations or legal laws which should be applicable to the employees? They achieve that also through the PMS system. So I'll stop here today till here only. Tomorrow we will take the difference between performance management and performance appraisal. So now I will go into research. We will start with research. So I will do a quick recap. This your subject is research methods, 18 MBA 23. And what is research? You know, it is an organized and systematic way to finding answers to questions. That is the definition of research. So research is where you are searching again and again to get the information you want, or get to the root of the problem, or to gain new information, or to develop some new theory, some new law, some new concept, or to find an immediate solution to a problem. So these are the reasons why people go for research. So research is you are searching for additional information or new information. So why research is required today? Why research is required today? Because today's business environment is very, very competitive, and managers need to take decisions, very, very fast decisions. So when they have to take very fast decisions, they need to have all the information at their fingertips. Then only they can take very fast decisions. So to help them to take very fast decisions in such a competitive environment, research will provide them all the information that they need to take quick decisions. So purpose of research is finding answers to questions, to finding out the hidden truth, using scientific procedures to do research and come to the root of the problem. So business research is nothing but where in a scientific way, in a systematic way, the business people will collect the data, they will record the data, they will analyze the data, and then take business decisions based on this analysis of the data which they have collected to help them solve their managerial problems. So business research is also carried out by the business people to get immediate solution to business problems. So managers, as I told you, they need access to up-to-date, accurate information. So today competition is very vigorous. Not only in the domestic area, it is competition is high, but in the global area also competition is very, very high. So organizations nowadays, they are doing data mining and data warehousing. So data mining is where they will do analysis of large amount of data which they have collected, and they will find out the trends, or they will be able to predict something about the present on the basis of the past data. So like for a credit card holder, you see his credit card history, how he has been using the credit card previously, how he has been paying his credit card dues, how he has been shopping using that credit card. So based on all that past data, you can predict in the future how he will be using his credit card. So that is data mining, where you analyze a large amount of data, past data, and you are able to give, on the basis of that, you are able to give prediction on the future. So in data mining, you classify the data, you associate the data, you put the data into groups, that is clusters. In data warehousing, companies collect huge amount of data which they have to store somewhere. So it may be data regarding their customers, it may be data regarding their employees, it may be data regarding their suppliers. So this huge amount of data has to be warehoused. It has to be stored somewhere. Archive, it is known as archive, or repository. It has to be stored somewhere. So in a particular manner, it is stored usually in computers. All these data is stored. So there is a particular way, particular manner in which it is stored, so that it can be easily accessible at a click of a mouse. So this is how in a store, the products in the store, how the information regarding all these products is stored in their computers. This is how they do their data warehousing. So importance of research. Research is very, very important, very, very significant, because if you see all the government policies, they are not, they are formulated only after doing research. So whatever the policies that the government comes out with, it will be on the basis of research only. And whatever problems business is facing regarding their operations, regarding their planning, they have to solve it after doing research. So even social scientists, when they are studying societies, when they are studying social relationships, how changes are happening in society, they do it on the basis of research. So research is important for everybody, not only students. It is a very important activity which has to be done. And as I told you in previous class, in our day-to-day life also, simple things we will take decision after doing a small amount of research. So even simple activities, day-to-day activities, we take the decision after doing a small research of our own. So it is part of our life. It is the day-to-day life we are doing research. So what are the objectives of research? Objectives of research is a very common question which is asked in your question paper. It can also mean types of research. Objectives means, it also means types of research. So what are the different types of research? You have exploratory research or formulative research. Exploratory research means you are exploring something new, some new event or something new has happened and you want to find out more about it. You want to find out more information about it, new insights about it. That is exploratory research. Like for example, this COVID-19. This is something new which has happened last year. So people are doing exploratory research on it to see what is happening. They are saying wave 2 happened, wave 3 will happen, wave 4 will happen. So a lot of research is going on. So all this is exploratory research. Then descriptive research. Descriptive research is where you are describing something. It can be an event, it can be a situation, it can be an individual, it can be a group. You are describing something that is there as it is. That is known as descriptive research. So diagnostic research is where you are diagnosing. You are like in medical this thing, you diagnose a new disease, like Nipah is happening in Kerala. So that is something that happened last time. So this is the second time it is happening in Kerala. So last time when it happened first time. So they did diagnostic research on it. It was a new disease. So they wanted to find out why it is happening, what frequency it is happening, who are the people who will get affected, what is the source of this virus, etc., etc. So all this is diagnostic research. Usually in medical field it is applied. Then experimental research. Experimental research is doing experiments where it can be in the lab or it can be in the field, where you do experiments, you manipulate the experiments, you have control, you can change the experiments, and you can see the results that you get. All that is experimental research. And then you have hypothesis testing research. Hypothesis testing research is you see in your data there are some variables like customer satisfaction and product performance. These two variables are there. So you will create a statement that customer satisfaction depends upon product performance. You are assuming that there is a relationship between these two variables. So such kind of assumption sentences are known as hypothesis, where you assume, you think there is a relationship between these two variables. So performance, product performance will cause customer satisfaction. That is the causal relationship between these variables. One variable will cause the other variable to change. So in your research, you will develop such kind of hypothesis statement, and then you will collect the data, and then you will analyze the data, and then you will see whether this hypothesis statement is correct or not. So if it is correct, you will accept your hypothesis. If it is not correct, you will reject your hypothesis. So that is hypothesis testing research. So these are all the different types of research which are also known as the objectives of research. And then getting research skills is very, very important. What are the research skills required? You can see for yourself. Then we will see the two approaches for research: quantitative approach and qualitative approach. Quantitative approach of research is where you use numerical data or quantitative data. So this kind of research where using quantitative data, it is a very formal kind of research. It's a very rigid kind of research. That means there is a fixed way of doing this research, and data analysis is done on the basis of some statistical tools. So it's a very objective type of study. So the techniques for this quantitative approach, you can do experiments, you can do simulation, you can do inference. Simulation means you create the shopping. Suppose you are doing research on customers to find out their shopping behavior. And then same shop-like situation you will create in the lab, and you will bring your sample group of customers and see how they are behaving in that shopping environment which you have created in the lab. That is known as simulation. Inference is where you analyze the data with the help of statistical tools, and then you come out with your findings. You come out with your results, what you understood from that analysis of that data, that is inferential. So the difference between qualitative and quantitative research is, qualitative is where you are trying to understand motivations of people, you are trying to understand behavior of people, you are trying to understand the opinion of people, or what perception they have about your products. So all that is qualitative research, that is collecting qualitative data. Whereas in quantitative research, you are collecting quantitative data, that is how many number of customers are shopping during the season time, how many number of customers are not shopping during the off-season time. So such kind of quantitative data you are collecting, and then that will be a large sample size. which is representative of the population. Representative means same as what the population is, the same groups will be there in the sample also. If you remember, I had given you example of your class, like you are a different group of students from different states. So some of you are from Karnataka, some of you are from Andhra, some of you are from Tamil Nadu, or some of you are from Kerala. So the same what is seen in the population, the same I should take into my sample. That means few students from each state I should take into my sample. That will be known as a representative sample. So when I am not taking all the students from each of the states, then the sample is non-representative. So in quantitative research, data collection is done in a very structured manner. That means everything is planned. There are particular methods to collect the data, and then the data analysis is done with the help of statistical tools, and then a final result will be recommending a course of action. Whereas qualitative research, you are using a small sample which is not representative of the population. Data collection is also not done in a planned way. There is no particular method. It is unstructured, and data analysis is also not done with statistical tools. It is how the researcher understands the data, or what he comes to know about the data. That will be the data result. What he initial understanding he got, that will be the result of qualitative research. So qualitative research is of two types, direct and indirect. Direct is your focus group and in-depth interviews. Indirect is your projective techniques, that is psychological techniques, which are used indirectly to find out qualities of your customers. In quantitative, you are using close-ended questions, that is questions which have options. You can tick only those options. Large sample size is there, and you are collecting quantitative data. Qualitative research is where you are finding out behavior, opinion, attitude. You are collecting qualitative data, and the techniques that you use to collect this qualitative data, you use in-depth interviews. That means very deep questioning interviews. Focus groups you will do, and projective techniques you will do. That is psychological techniques you will apply to collect the qualitative data. So qualitative research, no statistical tool is applied to analyze the data. Based on what the researcher understood about the data, what is his intuition about the data, what he understood about the data, what interpretation he got from that data, that will be the result of qualitative research. And small sample sizes and open-ended questions. Open-ended questions means those questions where the options are not given, the respondent has to answer in his own words. So these are the types of research. Descriptive research, some of this we have seen in objectives of research. Descriptive research, analytical research, applied research, fundamental or basic research, exploratory research. We have seen qualitative, we have seen quantitative, we have seen conceptual, empirical, and others. These are all the types of research. So what is applied research or pure research or basic research? So this is research done to find out basic truth or basic principles. So it is also known as fundamental research. You are coming out with new information, new theory, new facts, new knowledge. You are doing this research on the basis of some hypothesis, and after analyzing the data, you will accept the hypothesis or you will reject the hypothesis. That is basic research. So examples of basic research is when you are doing research on natural phenomena, like floods are happening, tsunami is happening. or you are doing research on pure maths. All these are basic research or fundamental research, where you will come out with new model for maths or a new theory about the maths field, and studying human behavior. You study human behavior, you come out with some new information which can be generalized to the rest of the population. That means it can be applied to the rest of the population. That is, suppose you have done research on people, and you find out that people in the 20 to 30 age group, most of the people in 20 to 30 age group are doing maximum shopping, online shopping. Suppose that is your finding. Then you generalize that to the rest of the population. You apply that to the rest of the population, and you tell that the people in that population in the age group 20 to 30, they are all more into online shopping. So that is known as generalization. Whatever results you get after studying your sample, what results you get, those results you will apply it to the population. You will say the population also has the same result. So that is known as generalization. So what is applied research? Applied research is where you are applying scientific knowledge to solve a problem, and then you are coming out with a new method or a new system or a new procedure or a new device. So any problem that is immediate problem that is facing society or facing industry or facing business organizations, you find a solution to such kind of problems. That is known as applied research. So applied research is of practical use because you are finding solution to practical problems. So for example, companies do marketing research. They do a lot of marketing research when they want to develop a new product or they want to find a new market. So like Fair and Lovely was the product for ladies, but a new product was developed that is Fair and Handsome for the men. So this new product came about after doing some applied research. They must have done research and find out that men also need these kind of products to look good. So that is applied research. So exploratory research or formulative research is for those problems which are ambiguous. That means which keep on changing. So you cannot come to a conclusion for such kind of research. You can do subsequent research. Further research can be done. Like for example, COVID. The research that has been done for COVID is not the final research. Still further research can be done, and still further research is being done. So that is exploratory research or formulative research. So for example, exploratory research, absenteeism is increasing in your company. More and more employees are getting absent. So you want to find out the reason for that. So you do exploratory research. You want to study the trends, fashion trends for past 3 years. Then you do exploratory research. You want to decide how to position your product, or you want to decide what appeal to use in your advertisement. What kind of appeal should I use in my advertisement? So for that also, to decide that, you will do exploratory research. So the methods to do exploratory research, the experts can do survey of the population. They can do pilot surveys, that is usually before new product is launched. Before it is launched officially, it is tested with a small group of customers first. That is known as pilot survey. So pilot survey is also a form of exploratory research. Doing analysis of secondary data is also exploratory research. Qualitative research is also a type of exploratory research. Then descriptive research, describing something that is existing as it is. So the researcher will describe something that has happened or is happening in front of him. He has no control over the variables. So he cannot change anything. He is just describing what has happened or what is happening. So such kind of descriptive research is also known as ex post facto research, another name for it. So in social science, in business, this descriptive research is used very commonly. So for example, of ex post facto research is frequency of shopping. You want to find out the frequency of shopping by customers in South Bangalore. Then you do a descriptive research. You want to find out preferences of people, what people want, what do they prefer. Then you do descriptive research. So you will do surveys, you will do comparative study, you will compare two or more variables, or you will do correlation, that is you will find out the relationship between one variable to other variable in descriptive research. So descriptive research is a very rigid kind of research, a very fixed kind of research, very formal way of doing research. You cannot change the method of doing descriptive research. What method is there, that method only you have to follow to do your descriptive research. Analytical research is where the researcher will analyze some facts or information and then he will come out with his findings. Applied research we have seen. Conceptual research is where you want to find out some abstract idea or theory, that is philosophers and thinkers, they do this kind of conceptual research to come out with new ideas or new theories or to change the existing theories. That is conceptual research. Empirical research is a very detailed research which can be done either through observation or through experiment. So another name for empirical research is experimental research. Empirical means detail, doing very detailed research. So experiments can be done in lab or in the field where the researcher has control over the variables. He can change the variables, he can develop a hypothesis, and then he can collect the data and conduct experiments. He can manipulate the data and then come out with his findings. So he has control over the variables in experimental type of research. He has control on how to do the experiments. He can change the variables which are used in the experiment. Now, other types of research. Other types of research is depending on the purpose of research and depending on the time required to do the research. So on the basis of time, there are one-time research or longitudinal research. One-time research means for a single time period. Like 2020, you will do research to find out what was the effect of COVID on business organizations. That is the single time research. Longitudinal research means you do research over say 3 years or 5 years to find out the change. Like fashion trends, you will do research for past 3 years to see what is the change that has happened in fashion trends. That is longitudinal research. Laboratory research is where you can conduct same like experimental research in a controlled environment. You can do research in the lab or in the field. You can do research, that is the laboratory research. Clinical research or diagnostic research is where the medical field people, they will do case studies of different medical problems. They go deep into the problem to find out why it is happening and what are the symptoms. So that is clinical or diagnostic research. Historical research is where you are studying the past to find out what happened in the past. So what are the past things, documents will be there, remains will be there. All these past, what all things were there, you will use that to do research to understand what happened in the past, what events happened in the past, what ideas happened in the past, all these things you will do. So I will stop here because it's 10:45. So like this, I will go quickly through research, and I hope you can follow.